Let's move into a very interesting game here. Steelers, Niners. Niners open up as 7.5-point favorites, down to 6.5 at most books. Still hanging at 7 at Bovada, 7.5 5 times. Total opened up at 43.5. It's now going down to 43, and I don't understand the market movement. I know that my card's littered with unders, but I think this isn't over. Niners are coming home and feeling good about themselves. If Joe Staley didn't fracture his left fibula, I would be all over the Niners. But Mason Rudolph might be good. He might be good. And if he is good, I think we can get to this over. This Niners defense is very talented, but this is a low total. I'm certainly moving towards the over here. Steelers, Niners, Donnie right side.
This is one of my favorite games of the week to try to break down, because I'm going both ways in this spot, because we're taking a look at the San Francisco 49ers, Jimmy, that had 2 back-to-back road games. They go down, they struggle for a little bit, which is fine in Tampa Bay. It's hot. It's the first game of the year. The defense rises up and end up putting a nice victory together. Then they go on the road for the second of road games, stay in Youngstown, Ohio, which I thought was a good thing, and they end up blowing the doors off of Cincinnati. So it's one of those teams it's hot, it's coming home. And I even sent a tweet out early. This is one of the few times. Can we remember, them being in Santa Clara where they actually had like a football team with a winning record playing a big, Pittsburgh national team that they're going to get excited for and maybe be a national game? They might actually have a home field advantage on their side. But when I take a look, you're right, Jimmy, because we want to flip the card and say, how can we find value on the Steelers now that Big Ben is out? Because if Big Ben's playing, we could both agree that line's not going to be sitting up around a touchdown here. I just fear I missed that line, because early in the week I'm saying, if I'm going to jump this line, can it get the 7.5, which really it didn't get there. It was at 7s and now moving towards 6.5, which is going to be tough to do. But watching the film back with Mason Rudolph, he looked good. He looked decisive. He had a live arm in that football game. Connor's going to, you're worried about Connor coming into this football game hurting his knee. He's going to be good to go this weekend. You still have the semblance of a really good offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers that may be able to slow down that San Francisco pass rush. And maybe we're getting a little bit too hyped out of the block. Can San Francisco win this football game? Absolutely. They're favored to win. They probably should win it. But I think that drop-off with Big Ben, which from what I'm being led to believe, this wasn't something that just happened in like the second quarter where his elbow went dead. He probably had it week 1 versus the Patriots, probably had it week 2 against, Seattle, and coming into an end, he get hurt. But also when he took a Rudolph to the opposite side, 2 touchdown passes. He did throw the 1 interception, but keep in mind, that interception was a perfectly thrown ball to a Steeler that deflected off the Steeler into the arms of the other team. And by the way, Russell Wilson was out of control dynamic in that Pittsburgh Steelers game. I think the Steelers are undervalued here. If you can get a touchdown, or maybe it can creep back up and get to 7, I like the Steelers as a look early in the week, Jimmy.
I will be jumping on this over. There are some looks that I'm going to be making moves on in the next 8 hours. By the time I'm going to talk about them a little more, I'm betting with the bag, and then I'm going to make moves on this. I like this over. I'm going to make a move on this order. Teddy B saying Jimmy overs 4-0 in 49ers last 4 games in week 3. EJV saying 49ers and the over. Teddy B saying Jimmy, agree with you. Love the over.